time for another Oscar revisiting video, this time movies from 1996, which were awarded at the 1997 Oscars. That's always a little tricky, but movies that came out in 1996, I use the website atogt.com to remember and to see what were the eligible Oscar nominee movies of this year. It gives you a list of what was nominated for Best Picture and what ultimately won, and international movies which weren't eligible. But I'm going to cheat and always kind of put them on my list, maybe, if they warrant it. So again, in the series, I re-pick the Best Picture winner because a lot of these times they didn't quite get it right, and most people can see that in retrospect, and even at the time they saw it. I think this year is pretty bad. Well, is it? Yeah, kind of. The English Patient won, out over Fargo. That's probably a little bit shocking or surprising to a number of people these days. I don't know why back then that was the case. English Patient seems to be one of those big historical drama Oscar movies, kind of literary in its own way. But looking at it in retrospect, like, not very many people these days are gonna go, yeah, that's better than Fargo. I mean, some would, but very few, I think, watching this video for sure. I'm not all opposed to this list. It's better than a lot of lists where 2 to 3 out of 5 are maybe worthy of being Best Picture nominees, or I would be fine with. I like Fargo decently enough. To me, it doesn't compare as well. I like a lot of other Coen Brothers movies, especially the stuff in their later career. So to me, I don't know. And I like a lot of movies better than Fargo this year, just so you know, although I can see a number of people picking it. Secrets and Lies, one of Mike Leigh's best movies. That means it's one of the best movies of this time period because Mike Leigh is a fantastic film artist from the United Kingdom. And then Shine is not a bad movie. It's pretty good. I actually kind of like it in its own way. So Jerry Maguire was feel good at the time, Tom Cruise, but I actually like those other 3 movies in the Best Picture that I just mentioned. But I don't think many people will put The English Patient even in their top 5 this year. So we need to repick this and get a legit list. So here's my list of nominees and my noteworthy movies that are just outside the tier, which I'm going to pick from for my Best Picture nominees and eventually my winner. And looking at this too, usually the noteworthies are close, or it's hard to make a boundary between the draft of nominees or sort of good to very good movies from this year and the noteworthies. But really, I threw a lot of people a bone in the noteworthies. Even myself threw myself a bone. I put Eraser, which I kind of like. Ridiculous Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Escape from L.A. Ridiculous John Carpenter movie. I kind of like that. My wife's favorite movie is Emma. I'm putting it here. I mean, Swingers, That Thing You Do, the Star Trek movie. Okay, you can just hate these. I don't care. But to me, this year is weird because to me it has a great top tier, the draft and nominees that I have, and then maybe a C tier after it. It's kind of no mid-range there between the draft and nominees. Only a couple of these movies. Lone Star I might move up. Anything else? I'm not really sure. But I must say, I love these drafted nominees. This makes this year very good for me. I could rewatch all of these movies and really enjoy them, get a lot out of them, analyze them shot for shot viewing, but also casual viewing. A number of these are really rich, well done. There's a variety of topics here, a variety of historical periods, I think, and a decent international list. So I'm going to recommend this list to all of you right now because take a look at some of these. I think they will tickle your fancy, if you will. But this draft of nominees list will also make it very, very difficult to pick 5 from and pick a winner. So let's go through these real quickly. The top 2 are movies. I think I'm going to introduce a new concept here. I think these are no-risk movies. I think I could give these movies to people and nearly anybody might kind of sort of like them. Not love them, but at least kind of sort of like them. Big Night and Breaking the Waves. Big Night, a wonderful movie about a small-time Italian restaurant. I'll go into it later, okay, just so you know. But Lars von Trier's Breaking the Waves, an outstanding movie in so many ways. Dead Man by Jim Jarmusch, one of my favorites from him. Maybe my favorite, with Johnny Depp, black and white, going west, but it's a weirdo acid trip, strange score. Oh, this is a great movie. I love it so much. And Drifting Clouds, Aki Kaurismäki from Finland, who's made a number of fantastic movies. This is not true, but I need to communicate it to some of you in a certain way. He's kind of like the Coen Brothers of Finland. He's got a very dry, sad, maybe even sick sense of humor, and it's just very delightful to me. So check this movie out. A very good movie. Fargo, Hamlet by Kenneth Branagh, who this is his magnum opus. I love it. I think it's fantastic. I'll talk about that later. Haru, not eligible, a Japanese movie that intercuts an email exchange between two anons or two strangers and then shows you their lives visually as they're separate and lonely and isolated. But the internet, nascent internet and email forum or email and internet forums are connecting them, and it's a man and a woman here. This is a wonderful movie in so many ways. People on Letterboxd love it. I love it. Go check it out. It's a wonderful romantic movie. One of the best meet cutes, meeting up of the couple that I've ever seen, and a fantastic ending. Oh, if this movie were eligible, I might put it on my Best Picture nominee list. And we come to this French movie, La Haine, which I'm mispronouncing, Hate. It was eligible. A lot of people love this today. I like it less than you. When I say you, it's almost anybody watching this. I think most people like it better than me. I need to rewatch it. I'm in the minority here. I think it's okay to very good. A lot of people think it's great. It's a crime movie, lower class crime in France movie. Go check it out because it's very lauded today by a number of people, and I think they're very credible in saying so. I'm gonna keep going. I gotta list these. Paradise Lost is a documentary it's a miracle of a documentary. These two guys, filmmakers. It's Joe Berlinger and Bruce Sinofsky. They're young in their careers. They made the wonderful documentary Brothers Keeper a few years earlier, early 1990s. They capture a court case in which 3 kids are brutally murdered, I think in Arkansas, and then 3 kids, basically older teenagers, are tried for their murders. And it's such a devastating documentary about the justice system at the time and cultural assumptions about Satanism and occultism and so on. They ended up making 2 sequels to this. There's Paradise Lost 2 and 3. And I really appreciate this documentary quite a bit. Although it'll probably strike some of you as like a basic true crime story. If you look at the way they filmed this and what they had access to, it is remarkable what they had access to at this time. La Promesse by the Dardenne brothers, probably mispronouncing it, don't care. This is a wonderful movie too, and I must say the handheld camera style, which is sneaking into movies, Breaking the Waves, this one, and there's another one in this list somewhere. They start to, movies start to do that sort of, I'm a friend or observer, I'm in the scene or in the set, sort of documentarian, but what would come up in the early to mid 2000s in all kinds of media, including TV shows like The Office. Here you see it in the tale of fiction, and it's just a wonderful little movie, and so I recommend it to everybody. Schizopolis, beware. It's a Steven Soderbergh movie. I really dig it. He's messing around. Postmodern Jean Godard weirdness. So just so you know, it's not for everybody. But Secrets and Lies, probably another no-risk movie. I recommend that to everyone. Shine might be too. Sling Blade might be too. Those were 2 acclaimed movies which ushered in Jeffrey Rush, who won a Best Actor for Shine, even though he's like in 30% of the movie. And that started his career, which he was in a ton of movies after that. And then Billy Bob Thornton in Sling Blade. Both of those guys, their careers took off because of these movies. Swallowtail Butterfly, and a very interesting Japanese science fiction movie. It's kind of an alternative history movie. Supermarket Woman, another great Japanese movie by Juzo Utami, who made Tampopo. And here, I love this movie about a small grocery store trying to make it when their big discount competitor, big box discount competitor, opens a store nearby and tries to destroy them. It's a wonderful little tale, a heartwarming tale. I also like A Tale of Summer, a wonderful French movie about maybe sort of finding love in the French Riviera, or is it the South Coast? I can't totally remember. I love this movie a lot. And then Trainspotting. Man, that was a lot of movies to go through. I can recommend almost all of them to you, no matter who you are. So what are the 5 movies I need to pick? Now, no doubt about it, you would pick 5 different ones. So these are my personal preference, also what I think are excellent, high-quality movies in terms of content and form, and the marriage of content and form, and all the real-world topics they sort of bring together. It's usually my criteria for what I think is good. I must pick Trainspotting. It's an absolutely outstanding movie. A lot of people might say this is like Goodfellas or too much like that, or Pulp Fiction, or certainly it helped that those 2 older movies, now 3 to 5 years old, were there for Danny Boyle to create Trainspotting. I think it's still its own thing. I think Danny Boyle relies on classic noir as much as he does on Scorsese, and this movie has at least 2 extremely memorable moments in them that they're sort of ingrained in pop culture history, and a great opening monologue voiceover narrator, and Ewan McGregor's performance. I mean, it's all fantastic. So I love this movie a ton. And then I'm going to go with ones I mentioned earlier. the no risk movies earlier. Big Night. This is I love this movie. I love the performances, the elusiveness with an A, the ambiguity, the characters, the setup, the setting. Actually, in fact, if you think about it, I could make a good top 5 list just out of movies about food this year. I could make a better Best Picture nominee list with movies about food. You give me Big Night, Supermarket Woman, and Drifting Clouds, and probably in any other 2 movies about food, we're probably doing really well here as far as Best Picture nominees. Breaking the Waves, heartbreaking, outstanding romance story. I love it. It's very different from Von Trier's a lot of his other stuff, which is hard to recommend to anybody, but this I could recommend to most people. Dead Man's a weirdo Western. It twists the genre. I love it. And I'm going to put Hamlet, because I think this is a great interpretation of Hamlet. Kenneth Branagh did not cut a line. I think he's an arresting, charismatic actor. It's filled with, obviously, a lot of cameos and great performances, which all add up to something meaningful. And unless you're a Hamlet scholar and don't like the way he did this scene or that scene, I think this is a meaningful, big picture sort of movie about one of the most famous works of art ever. And it's done very well and very craftily, in my opinion. And I've read Hamlet many times. I've taught it. I don't know that much about it, really. I'm not a scholar, but I think this is an excellent adaptation. And since this point, there's really not been too many great Shakespearean adaptations on film, which I think it's really hard to do, to adapt Shakespeare to film and do it well and meaningfully. So I'm going to put Hamlet here. God bless Kenneth Branagh. I hope he makes his King Lear one day. He's probably old enough to do that now. I really love, this is the movie I'm going to pick. It's probably an all-timer. I don't know. It's of its time for sure.
And the Oscar goes to
Trainspotting. I know I will be accused of this is just the Scottish Goodfellas. I get that. It does make some sense to me. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I'm not going to legitimate the movie right here in this video just to say I love it. The shot making is fantastic. And to come up with 2 to 3 of the most memorable scenes of this time or of movies in the last 30 years, just to come up with 1 is hard to do. To come up with 2? Oh, that's unbelievable to me. I love the ethical choices in this. And the performances and the voiceover narrator is pretty good. I think really good, in fact. So to me, it wins out barely over all these other ones because I really love all 5 movies I just picked. Now, the big questions are, what would you have picked? What do you like? Would Fargo have won for you? Would something else I didn't even name? Who knows? So go by the list of eligible movies on AGOGT or break the rules. I don't care. And pick your favorite movies, your top 5. What are your 5 best movies? And what is your Oscar winner for Best Picture? They probably got it wrong with English Patient, didn't they? Check out my other videos in the series. I started in 1980. I'm now up to this year. I've done 15 of these things. This has been a lot of fun. Please subscribe to this channel for more great content, movie reviews, etc. Have a great day.